Alright guys, welcome to the Red April Cup number 3. My name is Counterfeit, joined today by a very special guest for the first time in MC5 history. Please welcome your friend and mine, TJ. TJ, welcome.
Happy Easter. That's all I've got.
Well, it started well. So for any of you guys who are tuning in for the first time, this is our official ESL competition for all you Modern Combat 5 players. Let's take a look and see who will be playing in that official ESL competition today. TJ, who have we got come in as our number 1 seed?
We do have up at the top of the bracket, Victory of Lords, the French team, with a default win in the first round.
Ah, yes. We've got 6 teams playing today, so those top-seeded teams will get a bye straight through to the semi-finals. Just below them, the 2 Italian squads, No Fear and Private Clan, will be competing for that semi-final spot. But who else have we got, TJ?
I'm glad you asked, because it's my country folk, the Americans' new era coming through to face off against their French foes, the Fallen Heroes.
And last in, apparently representing Korea, North Korea? I think South Korea is a different flag. It's Ranother. Everybody uses crazy names in this.
Hold up. So I'm like 90% sure, and the ESL website's agreeing with me that is the North Korea flag. But I'm gonna check, just so we're not accidentally awfully racist.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's the North Korean flag. Alright, glad my history class didn't fail me. That is the North Korean flag.
So teams can basically say they're from anywhere, and teams have in the past. It's not usually a way that teams meme the stream, but in this case, well, we'll have to see. I'm going to have a quick look, actually. Let's see if we can bring up their team information page and see if there's any familiar faces in there. So, let's see. No, well, I mean, so they're not just renamed another team, even though the team is called Another. So I don't know. We'll have to see. The names of their players certainly don't look super familiar. Maybe I've seen Marshall before, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. But while we consider everything, we're going to set up our first community game of the day while we wait for our first ESL match. The way to get in on this community game is to use the passkey ESL123. Now we are on the latest patch, which means that the Marauder, which is everybody's favourite class, has been nerfed down a little bit. So if you guys want to come and join in, I'm going to open it up for now, and hopefully everything will be fine. Ah, there you go, Hero Gaming Simon, thank you for welcoming TJ to the stream, and for the Happy Easter as well. And Gladiator, thank you for the Spanish greetings. There'll be an invite in the global chat, and of course, if you're friends with me on this account, you will get spammed relentlessly with invites. Wait.
I'm not friends with you, so luckily I'm safe. But the rest of chat probably is.
Ah, well, I like to think so.
You like to view everyone in your stream as your friend.
I think if anybody who comes within a vicinity of me, either in real life or electronically, has automatically become my friend. And that's why I'm going to hit them up for money.
The only people within... Yeah, the only person within about 20 meters of me in any direction is my dog.
Ooh.
And she's my friend, so it checks out.
If you've got any if you can't mention your dog without paying the dog tax, so if you've got any
Unfortunately, my dog is currently recovering from being old, and so she doesn't like to have her photo taken.
Oh no, I can't say I've ever heard of that kind of thing, but I can, from a personal point of view, I can certainly understand that. So let's see, who have we got in? Hello, Sunny Gollum. Ah yes, Sunny Gollum's been around the stream for a long time, but we need to find some opponents. We're going to start up once we got about 4 people, or if we get an ESL passkey, then we'll jump across to that. Aviator Featured is our ESL admin for today, so he'll be giving us our passkeys as they come. So, TJ, we'll be going into Museum for our first community game of the day. Now, not only does this present itself as a fantastic place to shoot each other in the face, it's also genuinely pretty educational because there are literally educational bits on the walls you can read while you play.
No, I'm really happy about this because you may or may not know this, but I'm uneducated. So I was hoping that just kind of as a side effect of today's stream, I could fix that.
I think anything can happen here on today's stream. You could get educated, I could get educated. I mean, we've already learnt, or relearnt, about a country's flag, so, you know, who knows what else we're not
Although,
this is on.
Weirdly enough, I was the one that recognized the North Korean flag.
That's
so
true.
I'm gonna roll with that for a moment.
Alright, so we got 2 people.
Chat's,
Oh, no one.
Chat's wishing me happy Easter, and I'd like to thank them for that. And actually, I had something on my mind from earlier. I was thinking about Easter as a holiday, right? And almost every other holiday, Halloween, Christmas, etc., there are a whole bunch of movies dedicated to it. And maybe this is something that's in the museum, but there aren't any Easter movies.
Is that true? Just a second.
Yeah.
We've actually got our first passkey, so we'll be heading across our first Easter game. Sorry for any of you guys who are headed to that one. There are no Easter movies? What about Alien? The most Easter movie of all time.
Is Alien an Easter movie?
I mean, the plot heavily revolves around an egg.
Alright.
I mean, the contents of the egg more than the egg itself, but...
It's unrelated to anything that's happening today, but it, struck me as weird, because I was thinking through... Because we were talking about Easter puns that we were going to use on today's broadcast, and I was thinking through, I should work in some movie references, and then I realized... I can't think of any movies for which Easter is central to the plot.
Oh no. Well, guys in the chat, let us know. Are you more film educated than we are? Because we've already identified as completely uneducated. Also, I think, let's see. Henry Lang is saying, I hope your dog is okay, TJ. Oh, what a sweetheart.
She is. She may knock down a whole bunch of things from a cabinet in a moment, but other than that, currently she is fine. In about 3 minutes, she may be a little bit scared, but we're fine for now.
There you go. I think the chat are into the Alien being the most Easter movie of all. But you're right. I don't know if there's any kind of non-religious, maybe like non-religious movies that would revolve around that, but there's no,
obviously. I mean, if you want to go into Christian films, then yes, but I mean the modern holiday Easter.
There's no Die Hard.
And as I was thinking about this, I remembered an animated movie that I think came out of DreamWorks a couple years ago, starring Russell Brand as the Easter Bunny's son who runs away. And I was really concerned that I was making this up. It was a weird dream that had never happened. But then I looked it up. 2011, the animated film Hop does exist.
Oh, someone actually mentioned Hop on Facebook, I think. Who was it who mentioned that? Because someone definitely has... Oh, no, that's right. Rebel Fox 221 or 2221 on Twitch mentioned it. So thank you, Fox, for... You got there before TJ even did.
I had it written down on a note card. But, alright. Congratulations. We both participated in the weird pipe dream that is Russell Brand's 2011 film, Hop.
Oh boy, now I honestly, just that whole conversation just makes me not want to see it. I mean, because you've not said anything that makes me want to, and the idea sounds pretty dumb.
Beneath Easter Island, in a giant factory that manufactures the world's Easter candy, a popular rabbit is preparing to pass the mantle to his son, E.B. But E.B. has no interest in the job and would rather be a drummer.
I mean, I'm starting to get tempted.
He runs away to Los Angeles, where an unemployed slacker named Fred O'Hare accidentally runs into him. Feigning injury, B tricks Fred into giving him shelter.
Okay. This sounds like the back of the box if we still had DVDs or videotapes anymore. Really.
I googled it and read the promo.
That is amazing. But yes, Mike said, I think Mike said it quite well on Facebook, that yeah, we don't have movies like Halloween and Christmas, but honestly, what would an Easter movie even be about? Like,
alright, let me walk you through it. So the Easter Bunny, right? He's getting ready to pass the mantle to his son, EB. But weirdly enough, his son, EB, wants to run away to Los Angeles to become a drummer.
Jeez, why did I say that? Why did I say that? Well, to be fair though, Die Hard isn't really a Christmas movie, it just happens to take place at Christmas, but I guess because people don't put up decorations for Easter, so it's kind of hard to tell it is Easter, even if it was set at Easter. Like, people would be
because all the decorations are hidden. If you can see the eggs, whoever did it did a bad job.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Okay, it took me a while to catch up with what you're talking about there. Oh, and it looks like... Okay, so let's turn our eyes towards...
Should I stop talking about Easter?
Well, I mean, it is Easter, so I feel like it's still on topic. We've got our first ESL match, though, which should be starting in a second. For any of you guys as well, so TJ is very, very new to the game, but there is an Easter egg going on at the moment, which will involve a bunny running around that you can shoot at to get...
I shot him and got chocolate. I remember
you've already done it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. Now you know everything. Guys, if you haven't already, get into those ranked modes. You can get yourself some free giveaways. And I think from talking it to Radu, the community manager, they are extremely pleased about the fact that they've got a bunny running around in their ranked multiplayer, distracting everybody from what they should be actually doing.
Yeah, I was having a great time because I was just watching 16 people run around after him and just following the people following the bunny and getting a lot of kills, which seems like the right way to play modern combat.
I mean, you're probably right. Unfortunately, there's no bunnies in these custom games, which is a real shame, because I feel like you need to go for the maximum disruption value as possible.
Game Loft, please fix.
Geo over on Facebook. So Modern Combat Versus is made by another branch of Game Loss. So they do put out videos on Lee's channel, but this one today is exclusively Modern Combat 5. Keep an eye on the Facebook and Twitter. Maybe they'll come out with some tournaments for Modern Combat Versus at some point, but I haven't heard of any. Apparently they run some internally, but not on the stream. But yeah, everyone is of course welcome to watch the stream. Well, of course. We're more than welcoming to all the Modern Combat Versus fans. We know that you guys, we all kind of share a community together, so hopefully you can still enjoy it, even if it's in a slightly different game.
Alexis Anderson in the chat points out that Peter Rabbit's an Easter movie.
Oh, that's true. I think.
Sorry to loop back, but I think they're right. I dropped, and they made a new one with like James Corden recently.
Was he playing Peter Rabbit?
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have seen that.
I'm not the biggest James Corden fan, but that sure seems like a role he could play.
Yes, I think so. It feels like it was something he was probably born to do.
So, I'm happy for him, I guess.
So where's our last private member? I can see that there is, for No Fear, I think they've actually got 6 players, because you can just sort of you can just notice down at the bottom of your screen, you can see the U of the unassigned players. But that's actually one of the No Fear players. So, Private Clan, we are looking for them to actually get their 5th player in.
He's out watching award-winning Easter movies.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
He had to go see what was in theaters.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. Now we've got the opportunity, while we wait for the last member of Private Clan to turn up for the first round of ESL competition, if we were to collaboratively write an Easter movie here on stream, to you, what's a defining feature of an Easter movie?
Where I'd start is the Easter Bunny is about to pass on his mantle to his son, EB.
Oh, you boomed me! You boomed me!
And the problem is that Evie doesn't want to be the Easter Bunny. He'd like to run away to Los Angeles to be a drummer.
You upset me greatly.
Probably Easter eggs, right? You need Easter eggs involved in the song.
Oh, thank God, the last member of Private Clan turned up. Oh, jeez. They kept us waiting. I've now... Guys, so this is the first time I've ever cast with TJ, and I'm rapidly learning not to ask open-ended questions. Because the answers may not be to my liking. But what should hopefully be to all of yours liking is our first round of ESL competition. Let's get it on! Best of 3 all the way through to the Grand Finals, which will be best of 5. We start out here on Vantage, as we've got Private Clan in the red, and No Fear in the blue.
I was keeping an eye on the team competitions because I've been watching a few of the old tournaments, and we've been seeing a shift away from kind of the assault spam towards more variety. And so I'm excited already to see a very limited number of assaults over on the No Fear side.
Yeah, they're actually going pretty heavy in on the sniper, so the Vantage map having some pretty long sight lines means the sniper's very viable. So you see the Private Clan charging up the stairs. They win out that first exchange heavily, with Darren providing support. So this is one of the things as well in the latest patch of support getting a pretty substantial damage buff. A very useful addition to the squad, allows the respawn as well as those health packs. Very, very good for holding a central place like Private Clan are doing right now.
Private Clan already very far ahead. This is a very good start for them. They have slightly more assaults, so you can see that the assault class is still meta. I'm excited for their supports to come into play as well, though.
Yeah, I think if anything, it would behoove Darren, who's the only support in the game at the moment, to kind of stick back to allow the team to respawn right back in. The first minute done, man, Private Clan are giving No Fear a drubbing. Both of these teams hail from Italy, and you can see on the map the kill streaks are starting to come in. We've already got an airstrike as No Fear try and find their feet, but they are getting swept off it again and again.
Sick little snipes coming through from the very back there from Private Clan. It's been really hard for No Fear to get any sort of a ground because there's the double team, the assaults up front and the snipers in the back. Whereas I don't think they have enough players that can get onto these objectives, onto these fights from their front line.
Oh, interesting. Sorry, I got a little thrown off there because the gun that St. Laurent is using there looks very similar to the band Lac, but it's actually just a very, very similar tier 6 weapon, which is a machine gun which looks almost identical. But the Morph is a class we haven't seen for a while in the ESL competition, not because it's banned itself, but because it's probably most effective weapon. The Lac sniper rifle has been eliminated, so we'll keep an eye out. As I said, good class variety coming. I think the meta's relatively healthy at the moment, as Private Clan continue to dominate. No Fear just about to break into the 20s, but not managing as of yet.
I've been really enjoying how coordinated Private Clan have been while moving around the map. You can always see them responding to engagements, bringing their players together to concentrate after spreading out and finding No Fear.
Yeah, it's honestly, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, this is one of the things we kind of were hoping would come in with a new patch, is because we've now got smoke grenades, we've got the tracer grenades that let you see enemies in a given area. I don't think people have actually necessarily picked up on everything that's possible in update 28. You know, the game could potentially get a lot more tactical, even when we've got big pushes coming through like this, as No Fear try and hold their ground, but they are getting torn to pieces.
A 1-1 trade, but No Fear, I feel like, have kind of found their footing a little bit. That hold at the top of the stairs was the first time we saw them steadily be able to fight their way back into the game, and they've closed that gap somewhat.
Yeah, all credit to No Fear. I mean, this is a best of 3, so anything that No Fear learned about how to deal with Private Clan, but oh boy, there's no dealing with Shad. Just walking around, popping off everyone with that BSW sniper rifle. Incredible stuff so far, almost doubling out on the No Fear score.
Very well done by him, just sitting still, spinning in place. He's able to just get a shooting gallery going from the top floor here.
So very few No Fear members in circulation. They are getting wiped out as fast as they can spawn, and they need a support to spawn on. Taco Gaming, I'm joined today by TJ, who will be with us for the whole of this tournament. Ah, there you go, Hunter. So also for any of you guys who aren't aware, Hunter, Big Gorilla, and oh gosh, I feel like a jerk now because I always, I can always remember two. Hunter, Big Gorilla, and Hero Gaming Assignment. That's right, are our moderators. If you see any of them in the chat, please do say hi. And yes, I think it was Harry we were seeing before, who was spinning around in place, murdering absolutely everybody.
14 kills, 7 deaths. Not a bad stat line at all, leading the way. No Fear did have individual players who were up to par, but you need your whole team to be keeping pace.
Alright guys, we will be popping into a very small break while we get ready for game number 2 between No Fear and Private Clan. We will be back in 7 minutes or less, so don't go anywhere, and we'll see you soon. Welcome back everyone to our first round of ESL competition. I'm here again with new commentator TJ for the second encounter between Private Clan and No Fear. TJ, what did you make of round one?
Private Clan looked dominant. They were able to find a good defensive position up at the top of the stairs on our first map and just dominate it for the entire game. No Fear, I think, need to take a step back and re-examine their strategy coming into game two. Otherwise, St. Laurent is going to do that again.
Oh boy, everyone's dying. I'm trying to find someone who's staying alive long enough to even observe what's going on. But yes, No Fear. This is their last chance to stay in the tournament. As well, something we were praising the teams for before was the diversity of classes, but it seems like Private Clan, they're going in pretty hard in the assault classes this time round, and it's working out pretty darn well for them.
Definitely, they've absolutely wiped the floor with the opening few moments. Even a knife coming through there from Danny as he's able to pick up a nice 2k, although No Fear turned things back.
No Fear desperately trying to set up a defensive line. Harry providing the fire support from distance, but that first minute done, Private Clan with 14 kills, everyone's dying.
Harry was just standing on the steps there, shoulder peeking his head over the top, raining in damage whenever someone came around the corner, and they gave him like 3 1v1s in a row, and of course he won them.
Yeah, Harry is honestly pretty eye-watering. Let's take a look at the scores. Oh boy, yeah, it's not looking good. Danny and St. Laurent up at the top. Harry only dying once so far. Private Clan putting on a show for us today. Remember guys, whoever wins out here will be going through to the semi-finals to face off against the dominant Victory of Lords squad. I think Private Clan, they're putting in a fairly solid case that they may stand a chance against our #1 seeded squad.
Yeah, I've been watching Harry especially, and how he's just been playing the positioning around these corners has been really entertaining to watch, because he always has a little bit of an advantage, be it the stairs that he's just shoulder peeking his head over, or a corner that he's able to leverage to re-peek his opponent. It's really entertaining.
And Harry, of course, making use of all those skills to drop in the military support just to put a lie to your words. We'll take a bullet to the face, but at this point, I suspect Private Clan's play may start getting a little bit more free and easy, because their lead is ludicrous. Their place in the semi-finals is all but assured.
Just as I talk Harry up, he walks right out into the open. It gets shut down, but the kills are still going Private Clan's way as they dominate the choke point yet again. With 43 kills in their favor, they certainly look unstoppable.
And we are seeing that shred coming in as well from Private Clan. They are bringing in a little bit of support action as well. Has that increased accuracy the more you fire. And of course, when you've got a clip that big, you're going to be firing for quite some time.
And just like that, it will be the game being dominated by Private Clan. A very clean game 2 from the team. That's, like you said, the best performance I've seen yet in a modern combat game. They looked so in sync. And if you're telling me the team they have to play could hold a candle to that, I'm terrified.
Oh boy, well, TJ, to be fair, I may have to eat those words relatively soon as we take a look across.
13-2!
Yes, Danny is a monster, but also St. Laurent and to a lesser extent Harry as well, all doing astonishingly well. So guys, we need to get you all back onto stream again. So TJ, I might need to take back what I said before, because you know I mentioned that Victory of Lords, our next round opponents, are they're coming in as the #1 seed, and that's for good reason. Victory of Lords are historically a very dominant team. But I just had a look through the Victory of Lords' most recent team history, and I realized to my shock that, in fact, it is Private Clan, who we just saw playing, have beaten out Victory of Lords in back-to-back tournaments, just coming into today's competition.
So, what I'm taking away from this, and this might be stretching, is that I'm right. And they're terrified.
I mean, you make a compelling argument. I feel like, honestly, Private Clan made a compelling argument in the previous game.
Yeah, I did no arguing. I just pointed, and you could see what was happening on stream.
Oh boy, well, I mean, this is one of the things, Update 28 has done a really good job, I feel, of shaking up the meta. And I think it feels like Private Clan are one of those ones that have made the best of it. They've started deploying in the supports, which not all teams have started doing. We've also got the extra military support options as well, which not everybody's got as of yet, which gives some great defensive options as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what MC5 becomes. CJ, you have come at the right time to this game, because it's just about to get a heck of a lot more interesting. But the game, ESL123, all the global chat invite, all will get you in here to play during the break, so don't miss your chance to show off on stream in front of your friends and family, and hopefully your little dog too.
The 2012 film Rise of the Guardians featured Hugh Jackman as the Easter Bunny, and at the climax of the film's plot, Chris Pine's character Jack Frost has to save Easter by regaining control of Easter Island from the evil forces that are trying to shut down the Guardians' holidays. So it kind of counts as an Easter movie, but it was released around Christmas, and Santa Claus is the main conflict of the film. So,
Okay, so I feel like we've at least managed to find an example of Easter-related media that actually revolves around Easter in some fashion.
And you know what? Rise of the Guardians was alright, as opposed to Hop, which has, and this is true, a 25% Rotten Tomatoes score.
Wait, what's Rise of the Guardians score?
I don't know. I kind of thought it was alright. Rise of the Guardians. 74%.
Oh, I never watched it. It didn't seem like it was a film for me, but that's pretty good. Like, a lot of films will just hit around 50% because, some people like them, some people don't, but 75% is actually pretty good.
No, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It wasn't a work of art, but if you want to see Chris Pine pretend to be a 14-year-old with magic ice powers, it's basically Frozen, but with Chris Pine.
I mean, that's so much better. That's what I was looking for in my Frozen sequel.
I'd watch him fit into that dress.
Jeez. Alright, well, we're gonna be back in 7 minutes or less with a continuation of our ESL competition. Let that mental image last you all the way through the break, and we'll see you guys soon. Welcome back, one and all. Our semi-finalists here is Private Clan Clash with Victory of Lords for the third week in a row.
And this is a very tight match. Victory of Lords, of course, historically champions of these cups, but Private Clan have looked terrifying earlier today, and they've beaten the team twice the last 2 times they've played them.
First 2 kills, that is saying Sailor makes it look easy. That extra zoom in damage from the Cog V means even if you're seeing a lot of snipers on the field, which we are seeing more than a few, it still functions pretty well as a mid to long range weapon.
And already Private Clan work out an early lead, 6-2 in the frags, now 7-2, as they absolutely dominate the opening phase. Victory of Lords, should they be able to gain a foothold, I think they can strike back. But so much of the troubles that teams facing into Private Clan have had are just getting a tiny part of the map that they can control because Private Clan have done such a good job at finding those choke points.
You can see here the Victory of Lords bringing in the Bramson as well for that short-range firepower. But the Lords members are going to get into a full-on face-to-face fight. Of course, with the snipers, the Recon's going to really be able to come alive. But Harry's still able to get the damage through to defy the odds. Victory of Lords, they have got Harry.
We were talking up Harry so much during the previous game. Maybe a little bit to my mistake, but part of what he was doing that was really impressive on Museum was his positioning, was how he was playing around these tight staircases, so I'd like to see that repeat.
Still though, I'm impressed that Victory Lords have managed to come back into it. Team owner Stress trying to lead them through these very tough matchups. Oh boy, only 1 point now, no points separating the two as Shine has stepped forward for the squad.
And a big thing I'm noticing is that they're able to shut down Danny as he falls for a second time. GOD able to shut him down. That's a very good thing. If you remember last game, it was Danny who was dominating.
Lead coming in for the French squad. Victory of Lords as Shine does it again. Shine up now with 9-3, really stepping forward for the team when they need it most.
Good range choke point fire from him right now as he's just trying to stop this entire team from pushing forward, and he's able to do exactly that as a grenade soars through and picks up the players. He's got pinned down. Great communication from Victory of Lords, and they take the lead.
Private Clan trying to take control of the central corridor. But of course we got the bombing runs coming in. The Victory of Lords trying to salvage, take their advantage and send it even further as Shine grabs another kill through and another. 13-3 so far. You can see on the map, Private Clan spawning in rapidly, but they're going to face a barrage of firepower as soon as they do.
Victory of Lords are not running the medic strategy we saw played with by Private Clan. Neither are they on this close quarters map. Instead, there's a lot of emphasis having to be put on grouping up, staying together as a team in the midpoint, as yet another major team encounter goes the way of Victory of Lords.
Bramson, known as the team sweeper, does the job in that last encounter, but Private Clan, they're not giving up. They're continuing to push forward as a unit, running over the big head. Will be moving forward and starting to grab some kills of their own, but Victory Lords are doing such a good job of picking at their formation and advancing the scoreline.
Yeah, you can see how they're able to sync up, concentrate. 3 players jumping in on Harry here. The second he peeks out, but he cleans up the ball. Nicely done.
You always know you can bet on Harry, but this is a long odds here for the Private Claners. They have found their feet once again, but Victory of Lords, they are halfway towards the exit on game 1. Only 6 more kills will put them up to that 50 kill limit. 3 minutes left on the clock. One fight could end it.
One isolated player here will go down. That means Private Clan don't have a thorough understanding where their opponents are, though now they do and take a ranged engagement down the middle of the map and will win it out narrowly, 2 for 1. They need to get better trades than that.
Yeah, Private Clan threatening to come back into this game if Victory of Lords take their eyes off the cards for a second. As Stress goes down, but ultimately that lead from Victory of Lords was too major to overcome, and they will take the first of these best of 3.
9 kills apart! 9 kills, that's it. That is all that separates these two teams. And it could have been much closer. That was an incredibly intense match.
Yeah, I'm really impressed, especially considering how strong Private Clan came into this. Again, guys, this is the Private Clan who've beaten Victory of Lords the last 2 times that they clashed. I think Victory of Lords have got an awful lot to prove here. Let's take a look over at those numbers. So it was Shine and Drainic for the squad, picking up, I think, yeah, the vast majority of the kills.
And again, remember the last game on Museum, Private benefited from Danny going, I think it was like 16-2. This time, the 10 deaths really add up. Because they're able to stop individual players from going on a rampage, then they're playing a team game as opposed to just getting out-fragged, which is what I think the last opponents faced against Private Clan. So we're getting into this team gameplay that Victory of Lords, their experience maybe, has built them an advantage in.
Well, guys, we're going to have at least one more encounter between Victory of Lords and Private Clan, so don't go anywhere. We will be back in 7 minutes or less with the second round of our semi-finals. Welcome back, guys, to our semi-finals. Victory of Lords can well be feeling pretty good after their first round win over the Private Clan. As we said, Private Clan have had Victory of Lords number multiple times in a row in recent tournaments, but this best of three, this semi-finals, is anything but done as we head now to Scramble.
I hope you liked game number 1, because we scheduled 2 more. Maybe. In order to get there, Private Clan would need to win back this second game. Victory of Lords made that first one look strong, but this ending kill difference was just 9 kills, which means it could honestly go either way.
Well, Danny was one of the ones we were looking to try and make a big impact, but Cheeto comes through and keeps the kills are coming. So Scramble very much favoured towards a long-range fighting style, unless we see the two teams clash in one of these hangars. So far, though, Victory of Lords have controlled the space pretty well, but Private Clan are very close behind.
Yeah, I love the defense that Private Clan have been able to play right now, because they have their entire team kind of spread out around the shipyard area, around those hangars. They've been able to make sure that there's no strong individual entries from Victory of Lords. Whenever those solo players step forward, they're shut down. And even if they do manage to light up individual members, they're just able to play defense, play back. Unfortunately, they're still trading about even, which I think speaks to the skill of the Victory of Lords individual players.
The Private Clan, though, after that last exchange, they do get themselves a lead, so the question now becomes for them, will they continue to press forward into this command center section and take the risk? Apparently, yes! They will, and everything will explode.
They had such a good choke point set up there, but the trading went even despite it, as again it feels like despite their excellent in-sync play, the Victory of Lords players are just out shooting them when it comes to gunfights.
Yeah, Private Clan, I think if anything, this rivalry between the two teams may have prompted Private Clan to be just a little bit more impatient. They are out for blood here, but it's turning out that the Victory of Lords team are more than willing to accept the aggression of Private Clan and turn it back upon them.
Stress has got a 1v2 in the back lines, finally goes down 1v3, but he got 2 for 1 on his life, which is more than acceptable, and the rest of Private Clan just couple through on his positioning, find yet more isolated players, and are now able to scrape the kill lead to just 1.
We've got 4.5 minutes left on the clock. The two teams have almost gotten up to halfway done with the kills so far. Private Clan trying to shove Victory of Lords back into the far up left corner of the map, but the Lords now falling behind are going to be forced to make the offensive overtures to Private Clan as they try and break out of this hangar right into Private Clan's guns.
Second lead in 2 games to Private Clan. They only held on to their lead in the first game for a matter of minutes. Now, things look to be turned round as they maintain that 1-point lead.
May does a great job of covering the back of the Victory Lords squad. Private Clan trying to lap their way around as May grabs 2 more. Victory of Lords sets up a bunker in the center of the map. That bomber coming through once again. Private Clan will be chucking in those grenades, but Victory of Lords, they are going to bleed Private Clan as they come in.
Yeah, St. Laurent and Danny, though, both step up, trade positive on the entries. The turn comes from Shine, and Drennick, Harry, needs to go big, and he does, cleaning up the remaining players on the inside. That keeps things close, but still a lead over the Victory of Lords.
Darren looking to finish off the job, trying to eject the Victory of Lords, but May comes through clutch for the Victory of Lords team. Firing from beyond death, the Lords ahead now by 4, out into the central field. Private Clan, they won the ground, but they gave up so many kills doing it.
They had to force their way in through those choke points repeatedly, death after death. Now they hold the defensive ground, but they can't afford to play defense from behind. They've had to keep pushing, but it's working out. I don't believe it, Counterfeit, but it absolutely is. And they brought this kill lead back to a matter of single digits.
Cheeto trying to, as we see the Victory of Lords, they're looking to try and set up another defensive position. It worked out so well for them before. They're in a comfortable 3-kill lead, but they are split across the 2 different hangars. Private Clan are going to have to decide where do they go next, because there's only 2 kills away from being 1 kill away from being knocked out of the competition.
1 kill is all it takes for Victory of Lords to claim this BO3. and they can't get it. It's down to 49. The next kill wins the game, and it is so incredibly close for Victory of Lords. Stress claims the final blow, shutting down Private Clan's comeback.
Oh my gosh, that end of that game! I can only imagine what the comms were like for the teams as Private Clan.
Kill!
They went from being basically done to being one kill away from keeping this series going. Man, what a way for Victory of Lords to break the Private Clan winning streak. What a way for them to book their ticket right through to the finals.
They didn't book their ticket. They ran onto the train platform as the train was leaving and jumped on the back and hung on.
Oof. Well,
that was incredibly close.
Yeah, it does not get closer. Guys, we need your help now to give us a chance to recover ourselves, to fan off all of that Easter heat from our faces after Victory of Lords' incredible semi-finals win. We want to get you guys back on the stream with the passkey ESL123 or the global chat invite. You'll of course be able to see as we set up the game live on stream. Let's go for a free-for-all. We haven't had one of them as so far, and traditionally,
if you are curious, of course, with that game Victory of Lords will go on to play New Era in the finals. That is the team that got out of the other semi.
Excellent. So there we go, guys. Should be a fantastic best of 5 coming up. But get in here quick before that game starts. ESL123 global chat invite, the free-for-all live on stream. This is our last stream of the weekend, so this is your chance to impress not only your friends and family but potential recruiters for the ESL teams. We know they do watch these ones, and we've seen players go directly from these kind of custom games into ESL teams which have gone on to success themselves.
Impress me.
TJ, what would impress you the most? Is it raw kills, or is it the way that somebody gets those kills?
I think, and you know, this is born out of many years of FPS experience, but sometimes it's not so much about what people are doing in the game, and instead it's about how stylish they look while they're doing it. So I'm not especially looking at kills, scores, KDAs, positioning, any of that. I'm looking at your gun skins.
Well, with the new Easter update, there's certainly ways to decorate yourself as the most dangerous bunny in the land. We shall see who is the most stylish on the battlefield as we head to break and cede the stage to all. Have fun during the custom game, and we shall return, hopefully, with our grand finals after the break. Alright guys, welcome back to the grand final. We return to the museum once more, the site of one of Victory of Lords' wins against the Private Clan, finally breaking their losing streak. Now the Victory of Lords have a chance to reclaim their throne as they go up against the American squad, New Era.
America! That's all I got.
I'm glad you didn't continue the line.
Victory of Lords looked terrifying in their last set, but they narrowly scraped out a win. New Era now need to do one better than their opponents in that last series, maybe do what Private Clan couldn't.
And New Era, they're a team who've been knocking around in the ESL scene for a while. They've been denied those top spots by Victory of Lords and Private Clan, the two teams we saw playing here before. So, as much as Victory of Lords want to reclaim their top spot, New Era, this is definitely a grudge match for them. Whichever team wins out here will claim that €100 prize and, of course, top seeding through to the monthly finals. Victory of Lords, they spent so long up at the top, but perhaps it's time for some new blood.
We do see currently only a 1-kill difference, so New Era are holding that close for now, as they've managed to do a great job playing defense across the map, responding to that trademark Victory of Lords grouped play, with some grouped play of their own, setting up a defensive position on this raised gantry area at the back of the museum.
Now, if you remember May from before, that May was the one that came through clutch for the Victory of Lords team when they were getting flanked around, dropped down some truly beautiful military support to keep the team going. Right now, May is also picking up a good amount of kills, topping out the score for them, while Amonrad over on the New Era side is also putting on a pretty impressive performance.
Yeah, he's doing an incredibly good job with the lead. Not to part will go down. Things have really slowed down in this game, which is fun to see, because I think oftentimes when your gameplay gets slower, that's a sign you're getting more and more coordinated with the team. And as the match gets more intense, as we saw in the last series, you can expect things to speed up as the lack of coordination begins to come through. For now, New Era are playing defense on their side of the map. Both teams have individual roamers kind of seeking out engagements on the other side of the map, trying to figure out what their opponents are doing. That's YOLO for the New Era side. He's all the way out in the middle of the map.
May, though, sees the New Era coming and won't be able to stand against the tide coming in, as yes, Yellow is in the center trying to get the flank around. Charge forward from Zenith with the Commander class. Will have that shield to absorb the punishment. The Victory of Lords squad, though, stacked up around the corner. This is the corner that's going to be very hard one, but Zenith manages it. 3 kills for the Era. Zenith unstoppable.
You can't stop Zenith. The New Era now have kept that kill score tied against the incredibly dominant team, and the flank coming through from YOLO. After all that time sat in the middle of the map, he finally springs his trap, but we're still tied, 2021.
Cheeto trying to do the flank on the flank, as yes, the teams start to devolve into full-on brawls with one another, face to face. Cheeto still trying to hang around the outside and pick off kills with that BSW sniper. It's almost dead even as we cross the halfway mark, and our grand final seems to be shaping up to be another incredibly competitive series.
So what we saw at the very beginning was YOLO and May being the two kind of roamers, while the 4-man cores of both teams sat defensively on the other side of the map. Those 4-man cores eventually encountered each other, Victory of Lords being the aggressive team. That's now flipped. New Era are pushing incredibly far forward, and they've lost a lot of team coordination while doing so. You see that solo player is no longer solo. Instead, they're in these 2 3-man groups that aren't able to win fights versus the 4-man Victory of Lords squad.
Stress trying to hold ground in the sarcophagus room with the rest of the Lords. We'll be able to bleed out 2 kills from New Era as they come in, and we're going to be seeing the battle line of Victory Lords spread across almost the entirety of the middle of the museum.
Lots of pressure being found on the offensive from New Era as they have refused to play any more defense. It felt like that game started in their favor, and they took that as an opportunity to push the advantage. And now, finally, after such a long time, it felt like running in 2v3, 2v4 into the Victory of Lords defense. They've earned themselves a lead and settled back into a defensive position of their own.
We're looking for Zenith, the big flankeroonie, to break through, but the defense is there from the Lords. They've got 2, maybe even 3 members in the areas, but Zenith still able to get the kill. Charging in another side will be Stress around Big Head, but D-Pats and the rest of the squad trying to work the way around. We've really got the teams mixed together now, but it's Victory of Lords who've managed to come out ahead of these trades.
Yeah, still a narrow lead, but a better one than ever before with these auto turrets going down as well. Is going to start to be very, very difficult to push in. Victory of Lords, only 8 kills away now, 7 kills from ending their game, taking game 1 of this best of 5.
So little time left, so few kills as well. Soothie gets spotted out trying to make it their way around the corner as team captain Stress. Again, going to try and lead the team through to that final hurdle. New Era, we know from before that the Victory Lords squad can't afford to take their foot off the gas as they come to this last part of the game.
Oh, Stress gets shut down. 2 kills away. Victory of Lords just need 2 more to end this game.
The Imp of May is ready. He's been supporting the team with that military support all the way through the game. Last charge in, we can see New Era stacking up. Stress gets kill number 1. But where's the 2? And of course, it comes from May.
Look at the difference. Yet again, 2 games in a row. Victory of Lords scrape out a win in single-digit fashion. Incredibly well played by them, but also props to New Era for keeping pace for so long.
Oh man, I think for me, Zenith is gonna be one of the ones to watch as we go forward in this best of 5 grand final. 10-4, absolutely fantastic work with that Commander and the Severance shotgun. Incredibly deadly, but it felt like Victory of Lords, their experience told out. The way they played the map was honestly fantastic.
Incredibly well played, I felt, during that initial phase, and then New Era began to almost crumble, fall apart, play these isolated individual dives, 1v4, 1v5, and I was really impressed by the fact that after that had gone awry for a while, it felt like someone on their team captain maybe said, okay guys, chill out, we've got a lead, just play defense. Sort out what choke points we're holding, play coordinated defense. And they did that, and they brought it all the way back to that 4-5 kill differential at the very end.
Well, we shall see what happens as we head towards game number 2 of our grand finals. New Era versus Victory of Lords. The first team to 3 will take home the €100 and call themselves champions. We shall find out what happens after the break. Welcome back, one and all, to the Grand Finals. New Era versus Victory of Lords. The Lords won out that first game, not in crushing fashion, but I think far enough.
4 kills!
Hey, yeah, 1 kill or 4 kills.
It was incredibly close.
Honestly, I was pretty impressed with what we saw from New Era in that last set of plays. You know, they managed to pull themselves up. Said, pretty close ending. And Zenith as well, who we're watching now, absolutely monstrous with the Severin shotgun, turns the back. So the reason for that would be because Zenith is running the commander, so that shield will protect him if he turns his back to an extent, but a shot can be placed through that will still break through the shield. New Era though, they're starting out the second game pretty strongly.
I was just giggling at the close range engagement and how awkward it was as he tried to side strafe tango with his partner. It's like when you walk down a hall and you lock eyes with someone, and you go to the left and they go to the left, and you go to the right and they get like that. But with a shotgun.
Well,
to scrape out an early lead in this series is they've taken one of the few we've actually ever seen taken against Victory of Lords, and I'm sure it will be short-lived as these games have been incredibly back and forth.
The Lords managing to equalise thanks to some good work from Draenei, of course. May from last time round continued to perform extremely strongly for the team. Let's have a look at the numbers. So it's Draenei so far with the diving helmet icon. The number 3 of the Lords, now number 1 at the top of the scoreboard, as you can hear the resounding thuds of the grenades hitting into the side of the central area. The Lords, they've shown their capability to run the defensive line pretty well, but in comes Amurad and the rest of the squad.
Yeah, we saw New Era play this game number 1 incredibly aggressive for the vast majority of the time, and it felt like they lost a lot of their team coordination at the midpoint of the game, had to regain it. This game, I'm really pleased to see that so far so good. Even on the offense, they're staying very grouped. You can see they have Amurad just playing kind of on the side here with this sniper rifle, making sure to spot out any rotates, any flanks. Those calls are going to the rest of the team, who then are pushing forward as a main unit.
It will reward them with a being back in the lead once again. Victory Lords come in, but Amurad cleans up everybody. Zenith able to finish off the job as well. New Era, they're setting themselves up pretty well here on the construction site for this second game. Still, again, Lords are going to be ready and waiting to try and sweep things back if given even half of an opportunity.
My god, Zenith has looked good. Now he's a little bit overwhelmed, but he still makes a run for it. Cheeto has to go in for the knife in order to keep things even, but the lead's gone back in New Era's favor for the second time in maybe half a minute. This has been an incredibly good look for the American side so far, as Victory of Lords have been struggling to keep pace, forced to leave their very static defensive lines that became their trademark in the earlier games in the bracket here, and start playing aggro, chasing kills, because if they don't, they'll fall behind and stay there.
We can see the New Era are doing a very good job of controlling this back bottom section of the map. The sniper's nest here giving them a good advantage over the rest of the playing field.
Oh my god, that flick!
Man, 2% health. Honestly, I had thought that was going to almost be a confirmed kill, but as we're coming towards 3 minutes remaining, Victory Lords have managed to catch up. Let's see. It's Draenei again who's been performing the most solidly for the team to bring them back to that point.
Poor May, though, the hero of previous games, sitting on just 2 kills. 3 minutes on the clock, that's not what you'd be hoping for. 2 and 8, their total KDA. Bit of a rough performance from one of their stars.
You can see the amount of bullet holes in the side there. May just providing suppressing fire out there, but I don't know if Victory of Lords can afford to play this way. They're behind right now. Playing it super conservatively means they might just end up being further behind.
But I'm seeing a few worrying signs from the New Era side as you see isolated stragglers begin to take those 1v2s, 1v3s. That's what I called out previously, and I feel it might be happening again as this time they get a lead, they start to feel comfortable. If they lose their coordination and aren't winning these team fights or these individual gunfights, that'll add up against them.
The Lords desperately trying to catch up as the time starts to tick away. I think you're right, TJ. The coordination, when it's there from New Era, is working extraordinarily well as they set up base camp, waiting for Victory of Lords to come to them, while sending Zenith in, of course, the fearless Zenith, with that big old shield to hide behind.
Because he has the commander class, because he has the shield, you send in Zenith as your roamer. You let him run around the map, get spicy, and then the rest of your team just plays group defense. Zenith will probably trade at least even. That'll keep them climbing in the kill lead, and there's no real risk to the team because they already have a lead. This is really clever play.
Yeah, it's almost like the lure strategy employed by fish in the dark depths of the ocean.
He's completely bait. What are you going to do? And Victory of Lords, their answer is, okay, well, let's stop engaging with this. They leave the central warehouse and try and flank around the outside of the map. Blip needs to hold this all by himself. This gets very dangerous, actually, for New Era. But they're only a few kills away from ending the game. 6 kills now, which means they can afford to take this kind of risk. Oh,
Victory of Lords, they've been frustrated. New Era have commanded this map in more ways than one. You can just see the Victory of Lords squad. They are in the center. They're having a conference about what to do with 45 seconds left on the clock. 7 kills behind. I think the French squad are more or less done here, unless something dramatic happens. Zenith, again, the bait for Victory of Lords to keep on fighting, but can't even be put down.
Let the clock run down. Why would you take any risks at this point? 26 seconds left on the clock. Finally, Zenith falls, but still an 8-kill difference and 1 kill away from New Era taking the first map of Victory of Lords in this tournament. And they've got it. Zenith again leading the team.
So by a considerable higher margin than Victory of Lords took the first game off of the New Era. The New Era fire back, beautifully played out last game there. It felt like, you know, as much as we could maybe criticize New Era for not keeping to their plan in game number 1, New Era's plan on the construction site was almost flawless.
That was so good. I loved the level of team tactics, and you can see the kill counts are actually relatively low for such a long game. All the kills are very spread out because New Era were playing that game so carefully and cautiously, using Zenith as that frontline bait, feeding the kills over to their snipers, playing around the sides of the team engagements, and there was just nothing that their opponents could do. You could see the French squad look so confused and frustrated by these tactics coming in against them. They were dumping so many rounds into that shield that Zenith was wearing in the front.
Oh boy, well this is TJ, this is why the best of 5 finals exists, to give the teams a chance to adapt and overcome. New Era, they have thrown down the gauntlet to Victory of Lords. Will we see the Lords denied their throne once again? Game 3 will tip the balance of this best of 5 one way or the other, so you don't want to miss it. We'll be back in 7 minutes or less. Welcome back, everybody! Our grand finals continues as the turning point of Game 3 is here. One game in either team's hands means that everything turns here on conversion.
This is basically a BO3 at this point, and that of course puts so much emphasis on this next game. Last series, we started Victory of Lords, scraped out a normal but narrow win. Then we go to the construction site. New Era look dominant off the back of this really weird strat using Zenith on the commander class. He's now off of it, playing a heavy, and their strategy's completely changed. Victory of Lords are trying to pull out the commander.
Yeah, the Lords, well, as we said, all these teams are going to be learning from each other as they go through. But New Era, they start out this third game pretty darn strongly. They're trying to hit the Victory of Lords squad from multiple angles here, but maybe this isn't the best idea, as that team coordination is going to be tested when you've got to hit at exactly the same time or risk getting torn apart piecemeal.
I can see what they're trying to do, though. You look at the flank player there, not Departed, playing behind the back of the entire flank. New Era are trying to call him in as the perfect flank player. Now he comes through and creates troubles in the back line of the team, while the rest of his squad pushes forward in front. There was just one problem: the squad pushing forward in the front for New Era got shut down, but I really like the idea. I like what they were attempting to do. They just needed to win the gunfights.
Cheetah able to grab that last kill for the Victory of Lords team. Despite how run and gun everything has been, Victory of Lords has somehow managed to come out ever so slightly ahead. The grenades, though, put New Era back within biting distance and will equalize.
Someone call Kobe Bryant. He's got a new competitor. The best three-point shooter in the league is shut down yet again, though, as Victory of Lords are still just winning these gunfights on this more close quarters map. New Era's advantage in team coordination, I feel, has been somewhat neutralized by how skirmishy this map is. All these isolated corridors play in favor of the Victory of Lords run and gun, close range, gunfight focused style.
I mean, this is one of the things that comes into the play, because these maps are pretty sizable, and the different parts of the map play totally differently from each other. You know, we've got this back area here where we've got these corridor fighting, and, you know, that's a real concern. But in other parts of the map, it's wide open, and suddenly the snipers are so much better than the shotguns and SMGs. We've got charge in from Dranic again, but I mean, the highlight player for me in this one has got to be Cheeto. 8-1 so far, has been cleaning up nearly every fight.
Yeah, and those 8 kills are slightly less than the difference between the two teams, but you can see that they are earning that Victory of Lords team the lead as the French squad now hits that 30 kill mark. New Era still stuck below halfway, solidly behind in this game 3.
Yeah, the Victory of Lords, I think, if anything, that game 2 loss seems to have fired them up for game number 3. New Era threatening the throne. But it's looking like if we're just seeing a standard game of MC5, the Victory Lords look just so much more confident.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see if New Era has any more sneaky strategies like the one they pulled out in that opening game. But for now, it's honestly just looking like we're playing very, very normal. Very normal game of Modern Combat, and Victory of Lords are one of the best teams at that, so they've been able to dominate. Now they're only 8 kills away from winning this game.
New Era won out the last game by 10 kills. Can Victory of Lords do the same or better? Certainly, it feels like New Era, maybe this just isn't their map, because yeah, everything is just turning into a series of 1v1 fights. Victory of Lords are doing a really good job of not only getting that individual skill, but having the backup where it needs to be. Dranic, as we pick up some steam towards the end of this game, but it's going to be, I think, a very comfortable Game 3 victory.
Very comfortable indeed. You asked, could they do 10 kills or better? Yes. Slightly shorter, but I don't think they'll be too upset. It's still a very comfortable victory, despite the run back New Era managed to mount towards the end. And what alarms me the most is how clearly it looked like Victory of Lords were able to destroy the New Era coordination. We end that game with the hard carries for both teams being about on par, but in comparison to the last game, New Era don't have that full team contribution that we had there. You don't have the entire team picking up relatively balanced kills. You have one or two star players. And that's the exact opposite of the strategy based defensive gameplay that earned them that game, too.
Well, guys, Victory of Lords stand now one step away from being called your champions. Once again, they've already put down the private clan. Can they manage to do it against the New Blood? We shall find out. Game number 4 could be the end of our grand finals, coming up in just a few minutes' time. Welcome back, everyone. Game number 4 of our grand finals is here. Victory of Lords have the advantage and are now on tournament point. Can they take this last game off of New Era?
Or is it time for a new era? Modern Combat 5 as new champions rise to the forefront, shutting down the historic lords of the game.
Well, we'll have to see. The New Era, certainly they've shown that when they are operating on their terms, they can be extremely strong.
The other terms! 7-4 is the immediate score lead. Now 8-5 as Victory of Lords dominate the opening phase. New Era are able to scrape things out, fighting their way out onto the rooftop. But you can see the importance of that rooftop control. As the second New Era claim it, they flip the tables completely.
Cheetah, though, able to fire up through that skylight. The Lords back now in control, even if they have got the low ground disadvantage as New Era come down to face them. Cheetah rocking the British colours there to make sure that we give them as much praise as possible while they're playing. But Victory of Lords, they're earning that praise as they eviscerate New Era coming down the stairs.
Absolutely slaughtering them. He's unstoppable. He's got more, cleaning the entire room twice in a row.
TJ, I think what happened there was the New Era had a support of their own, which was letting them respawn in place, and that place was directly in front of Cheeto's gun. So Victory of Lords are now in firm control of game number 4.
The British flag in the corner of this garage just started flapping. I don't know how it did that on its own.
A hidden breeze?
There's no wind in here. It's flying.
New Era, they've, again, well, we said New Era, if they can play on their own terms, they can thrive. But Victory of Lords, it feels like they've become aware of this, and they're using their ludicrous amount of experience to put New Era in a position where they can't execute on their plans properly. We can see the New Era, they're dancing around the map trying to find a way in, but every time they go for anything, they just put the Lords further ahead.
Yeah, after that bad start, I don't blame them at all. Cheeto absolutely dominating 11-2 in his current KDA. And now he's ready to add more numbers to that K column, striking out more flares in exactly the same containment room. Finally, New Era are able to gain some control back, but it's short-lived. 33-17, almost double the kill lead over to the blue side.
Suthi trying to hold the top of the stairs, but it seems like the Lords are resurgent. More than doubling, or getting close to, there we go. I had to do some quick maths and it wasn't, my brain wasn't working. But Victory of Lords, they are triumphant in this 4th game. They want to put their stamp on the ESL competition as not just the winners of the finals, but the definitively best team in the tournament.
Only 5 kills away from sealing it with wax, and they've got it. Absolute, complete control, the rooftop in their favor. The answers back from Era are simply to save their dignity at this point, because the odds of them turning this game around are slim to none, with only 2 kills left, 1 kill before Victory of Lords are your ESL champions.
Just, honestly, just beautiful. And the journey for Victory of Lords in that series to go from the team that seemed to be, completely caught off guard in game number 2 on the construction site, to be so outplayed by New Era, to figuring out the cracks in the New Era armor. Though, to be fair to New Era, this is, I believe, the first time they've made it through to the finals, at least in recent memory, so all credit to them. When they played well, they played spectacularly well.
Yeah, that match on construction especially was one of the most tactical games I've seen so far. Incredibly well played by New Era to really frustrate such a good team. Very cleverly denying the rotates. But then you get to the flat-out gunfighting. Then you get to the pure skill, and you could see Victory of Lords' experience pulling away, especially on that final map.
Well, guys, that will be it for us this weekend. But do please come back next weekend. On Saturday 27th, we will have the Android Cup. For all you Android players who've been in the chat, and Gaten M Gaming just posting now. So if you're an Android player, you want to play in the Android competition, that will be at 5 o'clock UK time. I don't believe, unfortunately, we're going to be able to broadcast that one due to some scheduling issues, but we will be able to show you the Blue April Cup on midnight of the Saturday 28th of April, the Red March Finals, and the Red April Cup, both on Sunday 28th of April. You can see when all those events will be in your local time with the invites, or with the link I've just posted into the chat. Whew. For all of you guys who haven't already, please do give Mono Combat a follow on whatever platform you happen to be watching it on right now. Be that Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Mob Crush. I don't know, there are too many of them. TJ, if people are looking to find you online, where would be the best place for them to look?
You can't find me. I wear camouflage. But if you'd like to try to find me, I occasionally tweet and stuff at esportstj on Twitter. That's at esportstj, all one word.
Alright guys, you can find me at Counterfeit Cast if you care to look in any of the usual kinds of places. But for now, thank you again to Aviator Featured, our ESL admin for today, and for all of you guys, of course, as well as for our moderators, for keeping the chats as best as it could be. We'll see you guys next week, so have a wonderful week in the intervening time.